Hi, people. I'm drinking Canada Dry. My wife just started and left me. I don't know what we supposed to do or what we're talking about because she just up and left. So,
Are you not talking?
very much I am talking, baby. I just tell them how you just started and left me, and I don't even know what we're supposed to be talking about.
Why you just leave it on the
Because it
couch
was
like
on
that?
me. It actually was on me.
Oh no, I don't want to end it. Okay, here we go. Had to go to my phone. Did you share it? You could have shared it.
I was thinking about ending it at first. I didn't know what you was doing. It's already on my page, buddy.
And you should be sharing it.
Sharing it with who?
Share it again.
I don't really know who to share it with, baby. I don't have friends.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. Anyway, what are we talking about? Did you sign?
Nope.
Okay, so top of the hour. Who's top of the hour? Top of the hour is what we didn't get a chance to talk last week because I was out of town.
All week
And
long, my
then
wife left me.
was out of town. And today. What? Any top of the hours?
Mm,
We went to go see Black Phone too. Don't go see that. I didn't like
yeah, it
it.
was.
I fell asleep. Did I fall asleep? I
We
feel
both
like
fell
I fell
asleep.
asleep.
We both fell asleep. That's how boring it was.
It was, I don't know what they were doing in that one. They could have left that one where it was.
Well, here's the top of the hour for you. We back in the gym. She's making me go when I'm tired.
I don't know why he's saying we back in the gym. Like, I haven't been working out, but go ahead.
I said back in the gym.
Yeah, we're actually going to the gym.
That's what I said. Back in the gym.
Back
I
in
said
the
nothing
gym.
about working out. I said we're
Okay.
back in the gym.
Okay.
Which I mean, we're working out while we're in there, but we're in the gym.
Okay. He's back in the gym.
You too.
Actually, I've gone when you didn't go. Think about it, remember?
Okay, yeah. When she was mad at me,
Whatever.
and she
I'm working out at the house, but I realized that working out the house is just not the same as the gym. So I've been working out. He's completely just stopped, and then now he's struggling because
yeah, I'm struggling bad.
every time he goes to the gym, something hurt. So
yeah, I actually strained my calf muscle walking. Explain that to me on the treadmill. But anyway, so
that's the only type of hour you have.
that's all I have, and I'm tired.
Okay.
Body's hurt, sore.
All right. So let's talk. This is what I think we should talk about. I want you to come up with. I'm going to ask you from a male's perspective. What is some of the most manipulative phrases you've heard from women in the course of your life in relationships?
I don't know because I was doing all the manipulating.
No manipulative phrases?
Oh well, yeah. I take that back. Uh, mine may not be appropriate. Let me see. How can I say
Just
this?
edit it.
Okay. The most manipulative phrases that I've heard is, yeah, I'll terminate the pregnancy if we get pregnant. I heard that a couple times. So I've been manipulated. That's been the most manipulative because it caused me kids. I mean, it was my fault because I know better, but I was manipulated to believe that people, uh, because I was adamant about not having kids, that they wouldn't, God forbid if anything happened, we'd terminate the pregnancy, and that didn't happen. So that's the most manipulative. I was doing all the manipulating.
What were some of the manipulative phrases you were using?
I don't know about phrases, but things I was
Words.
doing.
What are the words? Talk about words here.
I've probably only told one person that I loved them and I didn't love them. But I would say things like, you know, you never know what the future may hold. When I know that you the one told me that was manipulative, so
Okay.
just to get that out there. Uh,
Hmm.
at the time, I wasn't thinking it was manipulative because like nobody never knows what the future may hold. I could be rich tomorrow, so I thought. So I guess it was being manipulative, but I didn't. I was saying, I guess okay, yeah, that was manipulative. Try to make somebody believe something else. Yeah, I don't want to be with nobody else but you. Uh, let you tell it when I said I was sleeping in the car in the rest area.
Well, that's
But
just lying. I'm talking about
well,
manipulation
that
of.
was a little bit lying. If I'm
I mean,
lying,
lying is
it's manipulate.
manipulation is
Yeah.
lying, but I'm still like intentionally trying to be manipulative.
Oh, I don't
I came
know.
with the subject because look, somebody had
Oh,
posted something about
now I'm be sitting over here trying to think about all the
somebody
bad things I
someone
did.
posted they made a post about women and how women from when they're young little girls are raised to, like, for example, believe in fairy tales and they're Prince Charming, and you know, they see these examples of men taking care of women, and how all of a sudden now men are screaming foul play. And so they were kind of saying like, you're screaming foul play with regards to things that women were raised to believe in, and claiming
I
that they're is it really their expectations too high, or is it that they were raised to expect certain things from a man, or is claiming that expectations too high just a way for men to not have to do what they should do?
well, let me go back to I have the typical most manipulative. I'm sorry, I'm not getting off subject because we're on subject, but it just popped in my mind when you said that. One of the most manipulative things that men do a lot is flash and lead with money. Because of what you just said, women are not all women, but a lot of women are young ladies. Man's supposed to take care of you financially. Man's supposed to buy this. Man's supposed to do this, and then women are into that. So you show them a whole lot of money and then don't give them nothing,
Or
or
they
make or make it
or they
pretend,
complain.
or then
All
complain.
she wants me to
All
do
she, yep.
is
So
spend money
so
on
I've
her.
manipulated in a lot of men. That's one of the most manipulative things that I think a man does is he'll lead with money or act like he has something, a whole lot of something that he don't have,
Hmm.
just to get whatever he wants to get, where he wants to get with the woman, and then bam, there you are.
Okay, okay. Anything else? What is one of the most manipulative phrases you think men say to women?
Uh, I love you. Not
I mean, that's just
understanding.
that. I think that's a lie.
Yeah,
But go ahead,
well,
go ahead. What is the most manipulative phrase you just think they say to women?
I don't know. Most manipulative. Now you gonna have me look it up. That's
I,
interesting.
I think one of the most manipulative phrases men say to women, say to boys, say to teenage boys, say to teenage girls or young women, is this whole idea of like, oh,
No.
you're so sexy, I just can't keep my hands off of you. Or you so beautiful, I gotta touch you, type
Yeah,
thing.
I ain't
It's
never
just
had that, but I ain't never said nothing like that before.
you ain't never said nothing like that
No,
ever.
no,
Nothing close to it.
that's cornballish.
I'm just saying, you don't think that men say that?
I've never been around nobody that said that.
Nothing similar to it.
No,
What are
not
men
not.
giving us reasons to touch a woman or
I don't know because I've never like if anytime I've inappropriately touched a woman, I just be like, sorry, I had to. It was just big or something, or whatever you talking about. Like you talking about smacking somebody on the butt or something. Like I never just really came up with no excuses. I'm like, it's just sitting there. I had to. I was wrong for doing it.
well,
But
okay, but it used. I don't know what world you grew up in, but you will see even on TVs where when they have like shows where you seeing teenagers, and what's the one thing the guys say like um to try to get in the girl pants. Like it's always something related to,
Well,
you're
so pretty or
you're so
attractive.
pretty. I just can't.
So
I just have to have you, or you just so pretty. I just can't stop touching you, or you just so hot. You turn me on so much. I just can't. That type of thing.
Well, yeah. So I never really. See, that's why that's a hard subject for me because, like I told you before, if I couldn't make somebody laugh, I couldn't deal with them because I really didn't have no quote unquote game like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't make you laugh, then I didn't have an opportunity to do that. But I have heard people. I mean, I would say one of the most manipulative things that men would say is even if the woman is not pretty or whatever, and she has what they deem a nice body is, oh, you're pretty or oh, you're beautiful or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard. I will change that back. I've heard people say it was older people though. Like when I was like in my 20s, I hear somebody be like, "Oh, girl, you so pretty. I just can't keep my eyes off you or something." And I thought that was the corniest crap ever. Like what?
I'm just saying.
So
what about what I was talking about the post where the girl was talking about how women are raised with this ideology, and then you have men that want to act like their expectations. Like I think another manipulative phrase is when men say like your standards are too high, your expectations are too high. Especially when they're saying it just because of the fact that they just don't want to do it, have to do something.
So
they don't have to go to that level to do something.
So me personally, this is a difficult conversation for me because at the end of the day, I don't like thinking about other things. I agree with you. I think a lot of men say that because they don't want to do it or try to even attempt to reach whatever the expectation is, right? But then the other part of me is I don't think anybody ever has a high expectation because if you want that and that's what you want, that's what you want. So therefore it's like I think the most manipulative thing somebody can do is act like they can reach those expectations knowing that they can't or have no intentions on trying.
Mm.
So I think that's very manipulative, but I don't really think that I just can't answer that because like I don't think that anybody expectations are too high because if you don't want that type of person, if you want a certain type of person, then you want that type of person.
I think in a way that everyone engages in this type of manipulation when they are engaging in impression management, right? But I think in particular in relationships, that's I have a hard time saying that it's okay for people to engage in impression management when they're first dating people. Because I think when you do that, you're putting forward something that you're really not. Well, I think because people do it to the extreme. Like impression management is supposed to, like, you don't want to go on a first date and just reveal everything about yourself necessarily, right? But it isn't. I think people engage in it to the point where they're actually lying about who they are.
True persons.
They're true. Them as a real person. So I think that's a form of manipulation. But I looked it up. I looked up some of the manipulative things that people do in relationships, and they've explained it. And these are like 30 real life examples. So they said one is the gaslighting. So of course we know gaslighting is manipulating someone into questioning their own reality or sanity by denying or distorting the truth. So, for example, when someone say, "I never said that, so you can't be upset at me," or when if you question someone about something, like, "Wasn't that you I saw?" and you didn't see that. I don't. How could you have seen that? You never saw that.
Yeah, you know what?
That's gaslighting.
That's gaslighting. So if we're talking about that, I've done a whole lot of that. For instance,
you want to give some examples?
Yeah, I'll give you a prime example. When somebody said that they saw me in a picture or a video, and I mean, anybody with eyes could see that it was me, especially if they really know you. But just because it wasn't a clear colored picture of me smiling with a arrow saying Jermaine over it. It's like that's not me. You can't prove that that's me. No, I'm not. I'm laughing because it's like you. I was a butt face for that. But on the same token, it's like the extent that people will go to gaslight and manipulate for their own selfish reasons. So yeah, that's that. But I think a lot of times, well, uh, uh, with my one of my kids' mothers, I told her that I didn't want to be with the other girl. I really wanted to be with her, which was true. Well, after she caught me cheating, and then I went over her house and she said that she'll have to think about it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go home. And then I went back over to the other girl house because it was like I ain't gonna lose both of y'all.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
So
that's bad.
so
That's bad. That's bad.
That's terrible.
But gaslighting is, I think is the, I think the most prominent form, maybe that people just, that
Yeah.
a lot of people have heard a lot about the gaslighting aspect where, I mean, some people get so bad to the point where they'll say, um, like, you did something and you'll question, like, did I really do that? Yeah. Like, I had someone do that to me before, and it was to the point where I was just like I knew, like, you couldn't have possibly seen that because it didn't happen, but like they were so adamant about it that I started questioning, like, well, did that really happen? And I'm just like, what is going on with me that I don't remember that like something must be wrong with me, because how, like, and but I knew that it hadn't happened because it was impossible for it to have happened. But you got people who are such good manipulators, or when they're in a zone, I guess, manipulate people, gaslight people, that they can do that. They'll actually say that they'll say something.
You know how that happens? This is going totally off subject, but you know why that happens?
Why?
Is because I'm speaking from personal experience, because you start believing yourself. And so one thing about the truth, it never changes. And when you're lying and you start believing what you're gaslighting, you're believing what you're saying is the truth. Mm-hmm. Guess what's gonna happen? It ain't gonna change. It's not gonna change.
I mean,
so that's why that happened. But anyway,
that's a good one. So when people do that, though, so the impact is invalidation and questioning your sanity. And then the consequence is discounting your own experience, feelings, memory, or needs. So you just be like, oh, well, maybe I just don't remember stuff very well. And the crazy thing is, if a person does that to you enough, you'll get to the point where you just, like, anything they'll say will go, because you'll just be like, well, I just don't be remembering stuff. Like, or sometimes I do stuff and I just don't be knowing that I did it, or I just don't remember that I did it, or I hear things wrong. Because, or, you know, any of that stuff, they'll do it so much that they'll have you actually believing that that's how you are as a person. And it won't be until you remove yourself from the situation, or something is like directly in front of you and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not crazy. That really did happen, type of thing. So the other one that is another example is guilt tripping. So making someone feel guilty for their actions or decisions to control them. So, for example,
when a person says,
mm-hmm, yeah. this is manipulation. So this is a different type of manipulation. This is guilt tripping.
But in that still the fall with gaslighting, though.
I mean, gaslighting is really not I don't think the purpose of gaslighting is to guilt trip anyone. It's to get somebody to think that they're wrong. But when you guilt trip people, now you're saying stuff like, after all I've done for you, you can't even help me with this. Or, I can't believe you would say this to me. Or, you made me feel so bad when you said blah, 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 blah. Or, I just can't get past with you. Or, you made me like this. Like I remember, you made me this monster I am, type of thing. Mike's done, but I don't know if it's any good. See the expiration date. Sorry, talking to my kid. But so the impact of that is guilt, obligation, and resentment. And the consequence is giving in to unreasonable demands and feeling like a bad person. So then people feel like in those situations, like, oh, well, I have to do this. If I don't do this, this means this. Or another example of guilt tripping could be like, well, you must don't care about me, because if you cared about me, you would do this for me. You would help me with this. Or you, and it could be something that's like totally not your responsibility to do. And they guilt trip you. And it leads to resentment, because what happens, people in them situations, they continually do things out of this whole sense of guilt, as opposed to, oh, I'm doing this for this person that I love or whatever, or I'm doing this for a person that they start resenting the person for.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but I can see how.
Yeah. So guilt tripping. Um, I'm trying to think if we've ever seen anything where that happened, but or a movie or anything like that. But I mean that's what it is, basically trying to make somebody do something, or trying to force someone to oblige by making them feel bad. The other type of manipulation is playing the victim. So manipulating situations to portray oneself as the victim, gaining sympathy and control. For example, why do you always have to make everything about you? I'm the one who's always getting hurt here. After a person expressed a concern to them. So the impact is sympathy for the manipulator and feeling responsible for their emotions, or the consequence is taking blame for their actions and neglecting your own needs. So that type of playing the victim is another form of manipulation that you see in relationships.
This all of this is falling under narcissism.
You know, because narcissists are some of the biggest manipulators. I mean,
Yeah,
let's be real.
but now with that being said, I've done that before too. I've guilt. I used to guilt trip a lot because for whatever the reason or whatever I was going through, it goes to that thing that I talked to you about before, trying to get sympathy to make yourself feel better for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So whatever hormone that throws off, it makes you feel better if somebody feels sad, or you know what I mean, has some
Mm-hmm.
type of sympathy for you. So yeah, that's definitely a form of manipulation that I never really thought about.
Mm-hmm. Or like even when somebody is, if you're holding someone to a higher standard, not I don't mean higher like it's a high standard, but if you're telling someone like, this what you're doing to me is, disrespectful, blah 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 blah, and then that person turns around and says something like, I'm trying my best. I can't help it. I didn't know how to love people. I'm still trying to work on how to love. So that's making yourself a victim
Hey,
too.
man, no.
Yes, it
I
is.
said that to you before. I ain't
Oh,
making
I'm
out
talking
some
about.
no
You have
victim.
said it to me.
Yes, I
Oh, so
have.
see, he's playing the
I
victim.
ain't playing no damn victim because sometimes now sometimes you so there's where it gets a little bit iffy because sometimes some of that stuff can be true. Because I definitely said that, like especially not knowing, how to love appropriately, and then you're trying to love. So matter of fact, we said that when we was talking to Isis one time, like I'm doing my best. So like that ain't really guilt tripping, and I
Playing the
don't.
victim, you mean?
I mean, playing victim, yeah.
I
Because
didn't
sometimes
say every situation was like that,
Oh,
but
okay,
I
all
who
right,
said that?
huh?
Now see, I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean,
See
that's how
now, if you trying to wear the if you trying to wear the
man,
shoe, so
nah,
that makes me think that
I just
I'm,
said
I'm
that before.
confused. I'm
I don't like
confused.
shoes. I like sandals.
I'm just no, but my point is, and I specifically said when a person it has been when they disrespected someone or they done something that they know they
Oh,
shouldn't
I
have
didn't hear that
done.
part. I didn't
That's
hear
what
that
I
part.
said,
I'm
and they
sorry.
come back with, "This is why I did that. I've had an effed up childhood." And the funny thing is, now people will use that as an excuse. Now, I'm not negating anyone's childhood experiences or traumatic experiences or even experiences as young adults and adults that may cause them to act in certain ways or may come out certain ways. But I read something one time and someone said, just because you had a bad childhood doesn't give you the right to be an a-hole to other people. And I agree with that. It doesn't. So in some respects, I get that there may be reasons why a person is acting a certain way, but when you're acting that way and it's causing harm to someone else, and instead of recognizing that you're causing harm to someone else, you want to say, yeah, it's because I was raised in an idiot environment and that's why I'm like this. You're playing the victim.
Yeah, but sometimes even with that, sometimes people don't know that they think if they don't take the time to do self reflection, they might not necessarily know what they're doing is harming someone else. because they're so used to being like that.
No, but I'm saying if they're told that, if someone is telling you, hey, this is impacting me, this is impacting me, this is impacting me, and then every time you come back with an excuse,
No, yeah, okay.
This is what I'm doing, and then what happens is the focus turns completely off of the action that's impacting someone and back on the person playing the victim. So then now you end up putting a person in a situation where they feel like, oh well, I shouldn't point this out to them because if I do, that makes me mean because they can't help it that they were raised this way. They can't help it that their dad beat them. They can't help it that their mother, that type of thing. So it becomes that type of playing the victim scenario. Another form of manipulation that a lot of people don't realize that it's manipulation, but it is definitely manipulation. And I'm glad that people are starting to talk about it more, but it's the silent treatment. So using silence as a form of punishment or control to manipulate the other person's behavior. For example, refusing to speak to you after an argument. The impact, the person feels shut out, they feel isolated and desperate for reconciliation.
Wait a minute.
And the consequence is giving in to their demands or apologizing excessively just to break the silence. Silent treatment, people. If you are giving people the silent treatment, that is a form of manipulation. Don't do that.
If I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you. If I done got ticked off at you, I don't have to talk to you within the time frame. Well, I shouldn't have to. I mean, it doesn't set up to be the most healthiest relationship. That I learned that a couple years ago. But
no one should be given a silent treatment. Now you can say, hey,
wait, let me finish.
No, because that silent treatment is manipulation, people.
I don't think that's manipulation.
Women, it is manipulation.
I don't. Okay, so
men, it is manipulation.
So if I don't want to talk to you, I don't understand how it's manipulation. I'm not saying that it's right, but I don't understand how it's manipulation. Because if you don't want to talk to me, if we get into an argument and you don't want to talk to me, you have the right not to want to talk to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't. Now, is it, again, does it set up for the most healthiest relationship? No. But if I don't want to be bothered, then I shouldn't have to be forced to talk to anybody.
You have a right to not have to continue to talk about whatever situation it is that you're arguing about. But when you're in a relationship with someone, you can say, okay, you know what? We're not going to continue to talk about that. Maybe you got an argument about whatever you got an argument, right? But if the person comes and asks you something, you don't walk around and not respond to them.
Yeah, or that's just disrespectful
make sure
at that point.
you being really short and curt with them. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that in relationships. What are your name, Tom?
You said short and curt with them. I said
whatever. I mean, you just don't do that type of stuff. That's called the silent treatment. The only reason why you're doing that is to punish the person.
They punish you. I just don't want to talk to you.
The only reason why a person is doing that is to punish. So silent treatments are manipulative.
We got two people at my job right now that ain't spoke in the 5 months I've been there.
Huh? You're talking about relationships.
It's a work relationship. They in a relationship.
Whatever. The point is, it's manipulation. And when people do that, they what tends to happen is that the person that is receiving the silent treatment starts apologizing for things that they don't even have to apologize for because they really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Or
we just won't be talking.
They start giving into demands and everything else. If somebody did something so bad where you feel like you can't talk to them, you don't need to be with them. Just end the relationship.
I'll say this right
because that should never be the case.
If anybody ever wanted to give me the silent treatment, you don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. I'm fine. We just don't talk. I don't understand I do understand what the difference is, but anyway.
The other type of manipulation is emotional blackmail. This is when you're threatening to withdraw love, affection, or support unless certain demands are met. So, for example, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. The impact is fear, anxiety, and feeling responsible for their well-being. And then, yep, it is, Yvette. Silent treatment is manipulation. And then the consequence.
I disagree.
It's definitely manipulation.
I disagree. If I don't want to talk to you, I shouldn't have to talk to you.
It's manipulation.
If I don't want to talk to you, I shouldn't have to talk to you.
Manipulation. And
Especially if you didn't tick me off.
the consequence of emotional blackmail is staying in a toxic relationship out of fear. So
Now, hush.
that emotional blackmail can also come. So a person saying, "Hey, if you leave me, I'll kill yourself," is one. But also, if a person say something like, "I don't have anybody else but you. If you leave me, I'll be all by myself and all alone," and blah 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 blah. Yep, Yvette, ask for time before talking about something that's different. Yep, that exactly. Um, and so in this form of emotional blackmail, that's one of the ones manipulative behaviors that I don't think people catch right away either. They don't catch that that's what's happening, and that's what you're doing, and it does cause some people to stay in situations that they shouldn't be. Like it's like when people say, I don't know what I would do without you, or again, I don't have anybody else. Like those are forms of emotional blackmail, manipulation. Another form of manipulation is manipulative praise. So offering insincere compliments or praise to manipulate the other person's behavior or emotion. For example, that outfit looks amazing on you, but it would look even better if you lost a few pounds.
What?
Now people say stuff like that.
That ain't no, that's a backhanded understatement comment or something. What the? I curse, man.
So it makes the person feel insecure and unsure of genuine compliments, and the consequence is an obsessive focus on appearance and difficulty accepting compliments. So manipulative praise.
I'm laughing at Yvette
yeah.
because when she said when she said that, I did like this.
So yeah, manipulative praise. I'm trying to think of another example of something like that. Where somebody, you did a good job. You would probably do that a little better. You would do it even better if you worked harder at it. Or
yeah. So I don't know nothing about none of that because I've never used nothing like that. Like I'm not going. You're not going to have something on, and I'll be like, "Oh, that looks good on you." But if you lose a little bit of weight, then you'll look better. No, I'll be like, "Look." So I'm too straightforward for that one.
I don't know. I'm trying to think if you said something like that to me.
No. I've told you look good and that your butt may need to get bigger.
So that's manipulative praise. There you go. Thank you.
That ain't manipulative praising.
That's definitely manipulative praise. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. See?
It's not.
I think I'm in a manipulative.
Actually, I've never said that, but
you did say that. You did say something like that. I think you did.
No,
you really did.
I told you today you got a B, a lowercase b.
Yeah. See,
that ain't manipulative praise.
Yes, it is.
That is a good thing.
Whatever. So that's another form of manipulation. And then we come to love bombing. Another real life example of manipulation, one that is harder for people. I think it's hard for people to detect when it's happening. There's a really fine line between when someone is being genuine and when it engages or crosses the line over to love bombing. But love bombing is showering someone with excessive affection, attention, and gifts to gain control over them. Example is showering someone with gifts and compliments in the early stages of a relationship. The impact is the person feeling swept off their feet and intensely attached, and the consequence is rushing into a relationship and overlooking red flags. So love bombing. It's funny though, because someone just they were talking about the whole Cardi B and Offset thing, right? And someone said, "You remember when Offset came up on stage and was doing all this stuff for Cardi B, begging for her forgive, love bombing her, blah 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 blah." And I was like, yeah, I started thinking about like, well, what he was doing was definitely a form of love bombing. It definitely was.
He was apologizing to his wife.
They weren't even married at that point. I don't think he did that. No, they were not married. They weren't married at that point. He did that. I'm pretty sure they were not. But so love bombing. So when you meet a person and all of a sudden they're saying like, y'all 2 weeks in, and they're just sending gift after gift after gift after gift, or they're saying stuff like, I want to meet your kids because blah 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 blah. But I had one person say, what they say, if I can't come and bring my kid or something, then you must not be serious about the relationship and blah blah blah. Those things are love bombing.
Well,
Okay.
when I met mom, I told mom that I was gonna be your last boyfriend.
Yeah, but who you wouldn't love bombing mom?
Yeah, but that I said that in front of you.
But I had already known you for like a year
No,
almost.
it was
Yes, it
not. That
was.
was the same year that I met you,
That was
and
not because I mentioned
you had.
that might have been July. No,
No, that was for Christmas when we went up. When we went up there,
Jermaine,
that
that was
was.
a whole year later. I met you in December of
You didn't
2019.
meet me in
We
December. You
started
met
talking
me
on
in
the phone. I met
January,
you in January of 2020.
and that was
In
well,
December, which was almost a whole year.
okay.
Stop it.
All right. So it wasn't early on. You right.
It definitely was not
I
early on.
apologize.
But anyway, so that's the type of love bombing when people are doing things like that. And a lot of times people get swept up with that and they think like, oh, this person is really, they really know. One thing that women say is, oh, he really knows what he wants. And
That goes
the
back to
thing is
that fairy tale thing you were talking about earlier
yeah,
too.
yep. It goes back to the fairy tale thing. And also, especially in these day and age, I think it's a lot easier for women to be love bombed because you keep saying, well, you want a man who knows what he wants. It doesn't take a man. What do they say? It's only 6 months before a man knows whether or not he wants to marry you. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
it really don't take that
So
long.
so people say those type of things, and I think if you don't put them in perspective, you mistake that. You mistake love bombing for that because you will have somebody come in and you mistake. Oh, he just really knows what he wants, or it didn't take him that long to know that he wanted to marry me. Blah blah, and that person could actually be love bombing you. That person could actually just be doing that so they can gain some type of control over you and manipulate you. So it's really, I think it's really hard for people to discern when they're being love bombed.
And that's definitely a form of manipulation. Because here's the thing: before I had to watch you go through the ordeal that you went through, I didn't know any of these terms, and I was doing all of them. Right? Like I know there's been plenty of times that I've told people, "Oh yeah, you gonna be my forever." Or, like I even put them in my phone just to show them I put you in my phone as this, or this is what you know what I mean, stuff like that. So I that's a definite form of manipulation.
It really
Big
is.
time.
And the thing is, even with the situation I went through, I'm in some respects, I'm questioning, like, this seems like a bit much, right? But then I'm hearing from all these people. So mind you, I'm just getting
probably people that's been love bombed,
getting back into the dating scene. So I'm hearing all these people say, no, that's a good thing. That's what a person, that's what women actually want. Blah, 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 blah. I'm feeling like, okay, it's too much though. It's a lot. Like you don't even know me like that. It's in my head. You don't even know me like that type of thing. And it wasn't until another woman who had went through the same. And I think I have been posting in the group saying, well, he did this and that, blah blah blah. And another woman, a friend of mine, who was also in the group who saw the post, actually messaged me and said, "That sounds like love bombing. Be careful because that sounds like love bombing." That was like one of the first times I heard of that too. I was like, love bombing, like what? And she was like, yeah, that sounds like love bombing. Be careful. And sure enough, she was right. So it was definitely love bombing. So that's another form of manipulation that people experience in relationships. Isolation is another manipulative technique.
You just manipulated me for a whole week.
Manipulating someone into cutting off contact with friends, family, or support networks to increase dependence. So the example is discouraging from seeing friends or family by making excuses or starting arguments before plans. The impact is feeling lonely, isolated, and dependent upon the manipulator. The consequence of loss of social support and a weakened sense of self. So this form of isolation, I think, is really insidious. Like people don't really see it happening until it happens. Like all of a sudden they look up and it's like one day it's like, well, dang, I haven't hung out with my friends in like 2 years, or I haven't done this. But what tends to happen is like the person will do stuff like, because like them making a causing an argument, like I know people do that, but that's one of the most obvious signs when a person continue to make an argument before you go somewhere. But another way I think that's more subtle that a person to do is when you get ready to do something, like say you have plans to go somewhere or you have plans to go to your family house, and they're like, oh wait, something came up, I need to run somewhere really quick and use the car, right? And then by the time they come back, it's like 3 hours have passed because they had to go do something on an emergency, and they're like, oh, here, now go visit your family. And by the time you're like, well, dang, it's kind of late now, they missed the whole thing. Or when they do something like, yeah, I'm gonna go with you, I'm gonna go with you, I'm gonna go with you, just give me 10 minutes, I'm running late, give me 10 more minutes, I'm running late, give me 10. And by that time a whole hour went by, and then they, oh well, I can't go, you just go ahead by yourself. Yeah, and then the person don't go because now you done waited all this time for the person to come with you, and then they pull out the last minute. So now you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go because that ruined my plan. So that's a form of isolation. Like I don't think people understand that sometimes people will infringe, those type of people infringe on your plans with the ultimate purpose and goal of some kind of way maneuvering it, some kind of way shifting what you were supposed to do, whether it's cutting the time that you're supposed to be gone down tremendously, or whether it's causing you to just say, okay, well, dang, I'm not going to go now. All of those things, faking like they're sick. When you leave, all of a sudden now they didn't have a crisis and they're breaking down because they feel so awful about something that didn't happen. Those type of things are forms of isolation too, that keeps people away from family and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about all that. I wasn't doing all that. Only thing I did that you said was start arguments. That's about the only thing.
Yeah, but that was just so you can leave.
Yeah, exactly. So I can go be somewhere else.
Yeah, that was so you can isolate somebody else.
I promise you describing from what I know about narcissism and narcissists. That's definitely what that is. Because if anybody ever go to the extent to isolate you from your family and your friends, then they really got something else going on.
Well, yeah, but it's a lot of people that do it. It's some people that's not narcissists that do it. Women may do it in the form of, oh, I really want you to stay home tonight. But then you find out like every time you get ready to go somewhere, that's what they're saying.
Oh, you do that to me every time I want to go fishing.
Now stop it. We say isolate for family and friends.
You isolating me from fish. They my friends.
I don't do that. Stop it. But I'm being serious, like for real, like it happens when they're going over to like a family member's house or something. They'll, oh, you're not really.
I think it probably happens a lot when they go in the family or friend's house and the family or friend don't really like you or like the person. They probably do it then.
They probably do it could be because they know the person see through them. So that's one form of manipulation. That's another form of manipulation. The other is withholding affection. So using the absence of love, intimacy, or affection as a tool for control or punishment. So example, giving you the cold shoulder after a disagreement. Impact, you feel rejected, insecure, and you seek their approval, and the consequence is changing your behavior to win back their affection. So, you can have a disagreement. In these situations, this happened a lot when you can have a disagreement, right? Or maybe it's not even a disagreement, but you've done something that the person supposedly don't like, right? But they don't even tell you that. And then all of a sudden, like, they don't want to be close to you. They don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to do this. They act like they're irritated to be around you. That's that form of manipulation of withholding affection, right? We withhold affection. I think there used to be a saying that they used to tell women, don't punish your man by not giving them sex or something if you mad at them or something crazy like that, right? And I think what they were trying to say is that was like you're withholding affection to manipulate the man or something.
Yeah, that ain't what they were saying.
I think that is what they were saying.
I think they were saying that's gonna make him go cheat.
No, I think they were saying you can't punish or you shouldn't punish a man with withdrawing sex. Matter of fact, I have heard them say that.
Okay.
You shouldn't punish a man by refusing to be intimate with him and things like that. Now, I'm not saying you should need to be intimate with somebody that you have some issue, that there's some type of disagreement and stuff going on. But the whole withdrawing affection, I think, is more than that. Is more like, I don't want to be around you. Don't touch me. Don't blah 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 blah. And you're doing it specifically because you want the person to be like upset. You
No,
are
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
upset them, and that's why it's considered manipulative behavior. Let's see. Triangulation. Woo! People do this a lot, and I don't think people know that this is manipulation. Triangulation.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Introducing a third party into the relationship to create jealousy, insecurity, or
Oh
competition.
no, that
So
ain't.
bringing up an ex or flirting with someone else to make you jealous. Um, the impact is insecurity, jealousy, and questioning your self worth. And the consequences focusing on the competition and losing sight of the manipulative behavior. So a person will do this, and because now you're so focused on um, why he talking to her, why he blah blah, that you don't even see that this is a person's way of controlling you.
Yeah, so if we got to go to that extent, and I realize that you're trying to, or if you're flirting with somebody, I know you're flirting with somebody, and you think that's going, I guess that's also knowing your partner as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I know that, you gotta know, if I see you flirt with people, and I'm like, hey, what you doing, da da da, and then you continue on doing it, trying to make me jealous, I'm not gonna get jealous. I'm leaving.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So now, if your goal is to make, you know, if your goal is to, well, let me say it this way, remove me from it. I would think if people have enough self esteem or self whatever, and they see that their partner is intentionally flirting, like if you bring it to their attention, they like, hey, you flirting with that person, that makes me feel uncomfortable, and then you continue on. Your partner should have enough self esteem or whatever to be like, you know what, deuces, keep on floating and whatever. Now, if your goal is to make that person jealous, obviously they said something to you, so they feel away, accomplished. But if you keep on and then they leave, your goal is no longer to make them jealous; is to make them leave.
Well, yeah, but you're thinking of it again. These are manipulative tactics that people use. So you're thinking of it in a way of, I'm trying to think how to describe it. I don't think you're seeing it as, you're seeing it for what it is. This is stuff that people do when they use these
When they're
techniques and
deep in and stuff.
tactics. Yeah, you're deep in a relationship. Um, you know what buttons to push. It's not super obvious that this is what you're doing, but it makes a person feel insecure and jealous. So it's not like you're just openly flirting with somebody. It's more subtle type stuff that people do to manipulate them, to make them feel like, oh well, dang, I got competition, or I'm not on the same level with this other person that they're talking to, or that sort of thing. It makes the person question themselves, and that's the intent of it. So it's not so in your face that you know that's what's happening, because psychology, even if you think about it, our brain and our subconscious is always at play. This is a really interesting one, because I remember we were part of, when I was in college. At the time, my husband and I were in, my ex-husband and I were in a experiment. So they were like, do you want to participate in this experiment? So we were like, yeah, but they didn't tell us what the experiment was, right? So we go in there and they were like, okay, well, they were
They
like,
put you on a triangular.
they really did though. No, they said they did. So this is what they did. They had me working on, or they had us working on a puzzle together, right? Or something like that. It was something we were working on together. And it was a female that was supposed to be like one of the testers that was working on it with us. But she kept doing stuff like as she was as we were working on the puzzle, she kept like giving all her attention to my ex-husband, like, all in his face, talking ha ha ha. And I start thinking, like, why she all in his face? Like, dang, like we both here working on this thing, like, and I didn't even realize that I was thinking that, but I started getting like, okay, why is she all in his face? Like, what's she so close to him? What is she doing? Blah blah blah. And that's what the whole study was. We didn't know it at the time, but they after they were like, how did you feel? Blah blah blah. So I'm just like, the puzzle about, they like kind of like, no, how did you feel about her interaction with him? Blah blah. I'm like, Oh, so that's what y'all was doing. I said, I sure was feeling a certain way, but I didn't know that's what y'all was. That I was supposed to be feeling like that.
But time out. Let's replace him with me.
Mhm.
How you think that would have went?
Yeah, that wouldn't have went the same.
That
It wouldn't went the
test
same.
would have been over.
Yeah, it wouldn't have went the
Test would have
same.
been over
It
quick.
wouldn't have.
Why are you all in my face like that?
Right, yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so that's the type of subtle type stuff that these people that do this triangulation do to their partner. Then it could just be something like mentioning someone from work. Like I remember seeing a show or something or a movie where this guy was abusive to this lady, but one of the things that he kept doing was he would come home and be like, oh, you know, so and so, where she's just so smart and she handles everything and she be doing blah 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 blah, saying it in a way not like he's digging her, but throwing it up in his wife's face, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And was intentionally trying to make her feel a certain way.
I see, and that's the thing. Well, I guess it's human nature or whatever. Sometimes I think people may do that too because of whatever they're lacking inside. Meaning, like, uh, uh, if I'm throwing that up in your face or whatever to try to make you feel bad, then that I'm probably thinking that maybe if you feel bad, you're gonna show me more attention or more affection.
Yeah, I think that's what happens.
And I miss because I'm missing something or lacking it or feel it. Yeah, that's crazy though.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
Behavioral manipulation.
I'll be like a vet. I remember the time when we was up there and the vet said that like I don't know, her and Tez was just going different ways as far as work and everything. And I was like, that's straightforward the way to say it. And she's like, hey, we need to slow down. I need some us time or me time, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the best way to go about it. Once you realize, you may not be getting or giving or whatever it is, but like, hey man, yeah, we need to slow down and do this. Just be honest. Why play those games as grown-ups?
Well, because a lot of times when these people are engaging in manipulation, I mean, the something is I think defective in the relationship anyway. Like this is just the type of person they are. That they something has happened to them that makes them engage in this type of behavior. Because I don't think you should be manipulating people in healthy relationships. That's not what a healthy relationship is, to manipulate. Like that's you don't do that. So those were the emotional manipulations, and then they have like what they call behavioral manipulations, and we probably won't get through all of them because it's a lot of them when you think about it. But one of the ones that people talk about, and they call it financial abuse too, but it's the financial control. So controlling or restricting access to finances to maintain power and control in the relationship. An example is taking your debit card, refusing to contribute to shared expenses. The impact is feeling powerless, dependent, and unable to make your own financial decisions. And the consequences, financial instability and difficulty leaving the relationship. So a lot of people who are in abusive relationships, a lot of things that keep them in that relationship is the financial control, the financial abuse, the financial manipulation. It's funny because someone had posted something where they were like, your man pays all the bills and he tells you to shut up, what you gonna do? And all these women are here, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna be quiet. I said, I'm gonna let them know I can pay my own bills. And some guy had the audacity to be like, but when you prefer not to pay your own bills, I said, no, not if it means that he can control me. Like, what are you talking? Like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, I'm something wrong.
And so, but people do this. They use financial control, which I think this is going on into another area. But I think when you think about this concept of all the women nowadays saying like independence and I think this kind of started this trend towards wanting to be independent, wanting to make their own money, blah, 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 because there were so many relationships and marriages where women were controlled by finances. They were literally controlled. Like if the man was the financial provider, he controlled the woman. Like she couldn't. Yeah, but she was completely under his control. And then when things would get to the point where she needed to leave, she wouldn't have the money to leave the situation. So she would have to stay there longer than what she wanted to. Like people think like, oh, back in the days, these marriages were lasting this many. I think a lot of times, a lot of them were lasting that long because women had no choice but to stay in those type of relationships. So Financial control is a big one, and it's one that I don't think a lot of people actually, think about it when you talking about abuse. Um, I'll talk. Let's see, the one more because it's getting kind of late. But the last one is using children as pawns or weapons to manipulate the other person's behavior or decisions. So, an example is threatening to withhold custody or bad mouthing the other parent to manipulate child custody agreements. The impact is children caught in the middle, emotional manipulation, and potential damage to parent child relationships. And the consequence is complex family dynamics and potential legal trouble. So, in this form of behavioral manipulation, I know a lot of people have seen this, is where people are, people will stay in marriages and in toxic situations because they don't want to be away from their children, and the person is saying, if you leave, I'm gonna take the children, or I'm not gonna let the children see you, or they use the children even when there's a custody agreement to get the person to talk to them, like or get the person to try to get the person to behave in the way that they want to behave. So that was the other behavioral manipulation, is using children as pawns.
Yep, big.
So that's another behavioral manipulation that people encounter a lot. I think on this one, I feel like men encounter it a lot more than women do. I'm not saying that women don't do it, and I haven't looked at any studies, but I'm betting that if I looked at some studies, it would probably be the men that's having to deal with this, because there's a lot of times I've witnessed many times where women have gotten mad at men, and because they're mad at the man, it's like, you can't see your child, or you can't visit, or you can't blah blah blah, or they're talking bad about the dad to the child, or they just do everything to kind of make the person's life miserable, and in the middle of that is the child. They'll do things like, another form of that is a parent who is constantly calling another parent saying, oh, I think so and so is sick, I think so and so is this, I think so and so, just because they want the parent to come rush to their side, or they want to talk to the parent, or I think the child want to talk to you, and this type of thing. So those are all forms of behavioral manipulation in which children are involved. You want to do one more or no?
I don't care. We could. I was gonna. You kept on going. I was gonna stop at the 30-minute mark and talk about the other thing. I guess we can do that.
So the other thing, we're going to talk about the other thing next time. So anyway, those were the forms of manipulation. There's some more behavioral manipulations, and then there are some communication manipulation too. So far we've talked about emotional, we talked about one of the two of the behavioral ones, but there's also communication manipulation, and there's also what they call psychological communication, a manipulation. So we can talk about those things next time. And then what's the subject you want to talk about?
The thing about the women going out on date things, that would have been a great one.
Oh, and about women going out on dates. What do you mean?
When the dudes approach the women and...
Oh, yes, about the group thing. Yes, we need to talk about that. So we're going to talk about that. Y'all going to have to give us your thought on that, about men approaching women in groups, and when there's a friend or a couple of friends that's always feeling like they're left out. You talking about that one?
Yep,
that one. All right, so we're gonna talk about that next time.
In fact, we're gonna promote that all week, because
we are gonna promote that all week.
We had a whole discussion, and I understand the concept.
Yeah, he said I hate men or something. Yeah. I'm confused. I don't know what he is. He must be. I don't know what he is, but
you must think I was a transgender or
something. But anyway, see y'all next week. I'm hungry.
Me too.
I'm tired. I didn't eat dinner.
Me neither.
Bye.
We going.